Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with What Remains of Edith Finch, Blind. Let's continue exploring the house. And what a house it is. Calvin Finch. Murder probe, clues exhausted. Captured. The 5 Grand Generals, Sam Finch, most improved player. The Secret Lives of War Photographers. United States Marine Corps. Certificate of something. Not quite sure what. And the death of traditional photography. Join and fight, enlist. Taxidermy. Regional High School. Cobra Battalion Bravo Company Certificate of Achievement presented to Samuel Finch for obtaining 120% deportment grade in the 3rd quarter of the school year. I have no idea what a deportment grade even is, to be entirely honest.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him.
No, I didn't want to go in yet, because I wanted to explore the other side of the room. Fort Calvin. Space, the final frontier.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
Going around on the swing.
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
I guess we all tried it at one point or the other in our lives.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
I surely did on a swing.
And maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
First of all, that's a ridiculously irresponsive place to put a swing on, because of this exact thing that happened, which a 10-year-old should be able to preconceive that it might, let alone a parent. And second, Calvin, he sounded, well, the description of him sounded strangely suicidal to me. Like he wanted to fly. You know, at 10 years old, you would know it's impossible already. So it's almost like he wanted to kill himself. Because also, at 11, you would know that, falling from such a great height into the water, you might hurt yourself. You would already, an 11-year-old child is not a baby. So that's kind of dark and
After
sad.
the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
So that's what they meant when they said he was sharing his room with his dead brother for like 7 years. That's messed up. The entire concept of this house is messed up. Like, imagine having, a constant reminder of your brother's death shoved in your face every day of your life, because it's literally in the other side of your room, roped off like some kind of a museum.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Okay, this goes out here. Barbara Finch and other child stars. What they have been doing? Where are they now?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Oh, she had her own doll made of her appearance in the movie, and I guess that's fan mail.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Dreadful stories. Guest star Barbara Finch.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was canceled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
I wasn't expecting to be able to swing a weapon.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Finches Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
So she was murdered? I wonder, surely there must be laws regarding turning actual kinda recent, because it's what, 40 years ago? Kinda recent events into actual, and I mean historical actual events into comic books? Like, was our family paid royalties for that? Rated jobs increased. Equestrian Center. Happy birthday, Barbara. Okay, so I know now that I can get into the basement by using the music box.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Is that like an underground
If there's a pattern in all these stories.
Shelter? Grape jelly. Peas. Pea soup. Water. Tasty beans. Crisps.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
It is a shelter. Walter, or is it a prison? Did they keep him in here for whatever reason? Yeah, cause look, he lived to be like 48 plus 47 years old, which that doesn't look like a 47-year-old man. He looks like, no, that's what, 48 plus, that's 53, but still, he looks much older than that.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. But I have to leave while I still can.
What is this about? Greetings from Brazil, Russia, India, France. Like, did they keep him prisoner here? Why couldn't he leave? Because I assume when he talks about leaving now, he probably like kills himself or something. Although that goes somewhere. Cereal.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
So I guess he was convinced that there's an actual monster that's hunting down his family members.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, because they must have kept him basically... Well, maybe they didn't keep him prisoner, but they sure as hell didn't help. Even if just he himself was convinced that he must stay down here, they would have provided him supplies, right? So, like, they enabled his strange phobia of the outside.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Or she was crazy. Which definitely feels like a distinct possibility.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Yeah, that definitely seems true for Walter himself. He basically got so afraid of like his family's past that he became convinced that he must live in seclusion, almost like a prisoner in his own house, because otherwise some kind of mysterious monster is going to kill him, as it did to all of his other family members. Okay, I'm going to pause it here. If it seems a little jarring, that's because it is. I'm doing it in editing, because after I finished recording it, I noticed I forgot to look at the timer and the episode was like way too long compared to all of the others. So I'm basically chopping it in two. That's all for this one, and we'll see you in... No, do I say that? I don't think I do. Although, maybe I do. I'm pretty tired. That's enough for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.